Crosby survives in overtime against New Caney, a feisty New Caney team. But Crosby is 8-0. They are cruising right now, and we are so happy to be joined on the phone by the head coach of those Crosby Cougars. It is Coach Jeff Riordan. Coach, how are you?
Blessed, man. I'm blessed. It's been a good day.
It has been a good day. It's been a good weekend. You guys go and face a feisty New Caney team that came in with plenty of stomach for the fight, and you came out on top in overtime. You guys haven't played a ton of close games this year. How important do you think it is? You guys have legitimate state title aspirations. How important was it to play a good team and play them close and get a win?
Man, the name of the game is trying to get a win, and we did that, so it was definitely nice. New Caney, they're a very good football team. I don't think they're a surprise to anybody in our district. We've seen a bunch of improvement in them last year. They had a lot of experience coming back at key positions, and they've been rolling this year. They're putting up a lot of points on offense. They're playing very good defense, and they came into Crosby Friday night with a point to prove and a chip on their shoulder. Man, those kids played hard. They played lights out, and they played it in a manner that they deserved to win. And we were very lucky to come out with a W. But it was good to see our kids fight through some adversity, and get in overtime and get that experience and make some clutch plays at really clutch times. Our kids performed, and you can't coach that. We got a bunch of winners on our team, and that just shows you last year where they went 13-2 on a year that they were supposed to be down and out, and it's just carried over into this year. They're a good group of kids, and no matter what happens and no matter what adversity strikes, they're gonna find a way to get the W.
I want to take you back to an unhappy moment, back on December 12th at DKR Memorial Stadium, and you're walking off the field with a 49-21 loss in the semifinals to Cedar Park. The next day or the next week, whenever you got your team together and talked, what did you tell them after that game?
I told them I love them. I told them I was proud of them. They did a lot of things that Crosby had never done. They proved a lot of people wrong. I was just proud of the season they had. But you could see it in the eyes of those guys that were coming back, and some of those seniors that were leaving, that when you get that close and you taste it, that there was nothing to be satisfied with at that moment, and you could just see the hunger in their eyes. They wanted to be back on the field, and it was a weird moment, because that's at the end of the semester. So that last week is like finals. So I didn't really get to see the kids that much. So it lingers for a while with us, and I think the first time we really sat down and talked about it was when we came back for the second semester there in January, and it was a lot of time to think about it and reflect on the good things that happened, but also what we needed to do moving forward and trying to achieve that +1.
We're talking with Jeff Riordan, head coach of the Crosby Cougars here on DCTF Live. Get involved with the conversation at #DCTF Live. Coach, I made the comment last week about your squad that I thought that one of the most dangerous things about your team was that you guys were 7-0 going into that New Caney game, and I didn't think that your offense had reached its ceiling yet. Am I way off base there?
No, man, you're right on it. We've lost a lot of kids due to injury. We've played some kids banged up. We've had a carousel running backs. We've moved two different receivers to the backfield to try to make up for running backs getting hurt, and they both went for over 150 yards, and then that one got hurt, and we went to another receiver and put him in the backfield, and he went for 170, and then he got hurt. It's just we hadn't really got any consistency on offense. It seems like every week we're rotating a couple of new guys in there, where last year we didn't have that problem. We stayed healthy the whole year, and that was the key. And time we got to the playoffs, those guys were gelled, and the chemistry was there, and they were rolling. So I think we're ahead right now of where we were last year offensively, just because we have a little bit more athletic ability and talent, but we're not as close as we need to be as far as chemistry, and it'll come if we can stay healthy.
You've got a lot of weapons on that team. The two that stand out to me, Manny Netherly, who is on another world as far as receiving is concerned right now, and then your quarterback, Tristan Cotton. And last year, he had a good year, and I feel like he's really taken a step forward this year and really improved his overall game. I've been super impressed with your quarterback.
Yeah, we put a lot more on T-Cop because last year our offensive line was unbelievable. We had 3 running backs that could get it. This year we're banged up at the running back position, so we're having to rely on his arm a lot more. And he stepped up to the challenge, and he's having an unbelievable year. He's right around 2,000 yards passing. He's thrown for 23 touchdowns. He's rushed for 400-something yards and 5 or 6 touchdowns. I mean, he's having a great year, and of course he's having a great year because of the improvement we've had with Manny Nesley. Manny is a quarterback his whole career. We moved him to receiver at the end of his freshman year after the freshman season was over. And last year as a sophomore, he was kind of just learning receiver. And you've seen him about the third round of the playoffs become a different person out there. And that just carried over to this year. And, Manny, you're right. He's on another level. He's 6'3", and he's got some wheels. And when he catches the ball, he breaks tackles and he tries to get to the end zone every time.
He's a dangerous man in the open space, and the improvement over the past few years on your defense has been just remarkable. It's been, going from a detriment to your team to all of a sudden, arguably, its overall strength. What has been the reason behind your defensive really renaissance?
I think we just got more athletic over there, and guys are over there a lot more angry and physical. That helped out a bunch. Last year we won some close games. We played a bunch of close games early where we really wasn't clicking on offense, and the defense was pulling us through. And the experience they've got coming back, and then just the overall strength and speed that they've improved on. I mean, those guys fly around over there, and it hurts them a little bit when somebody scores on them or gets a big play on them. Last week against New Caney, I don't think we played as well as we have been on defense, but that had a lot of credit to their offense. They did a great job of exploiting our weaknesses and making us wrong and some of the run pass option stuff that they were doing. But our defense has definitely been a pride of our team this year, and very excited about what they're doing right now.
We're talking to Jeff Riordan, the head coach at the Crosby Cougars here on DCTF Live. And Coach, one last question before we let you go. Crosby tends to be a bit noisy on Twitter, and I would like to know if that's starting at the top. I would like to know who is responsible for the Crosby Twitter infiltration, we'll call it, because
the CC takeover.
Goodness gracious, I can't even think the word Twitter or think the word Crosby on Twitter without just getting deluged by this army of Crosby supporters.
Yeah, that's what's great about a small town like Crosby. I mean, we promote our kids any way we can. It's Facebook, it's social media. We want the good news to be put out there. And it comes from our superintendent, down to just our community support. We played a game Friday night. I bet we had 8,000 people at the game. And that's what happens when you have a one-horse town, and the community has got a lot of pride in what we're doing and how we're doing it, and they back us, and it's an awesome place to be right now. I promise you that.
I also think it's your assistant coaches. I think that Rowe and Mann are.
Maybe they need to do a little more coaching and less tweets.
He is Jeff Riordan, the head coach of the 8-0 Crosby Cougars, joining us on DCTF Live. Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and continued success the rest of the way.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
There he goes, Jeff Riordan, head coach of the Crosby Cougars, joining us on DCTF Live. I'm telling you, follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Coach Riordan. It's Riordan. It's a little hard to spell, but
don't worry, we had it up during his whole interview, so if they didn't get it then.
I'm telling you,
yeah,
he's a rising star in the coaching community.
Sure, you has all the things you want.
You want to keep an eye. You want to know the name Jeff Riordan because he's going places, and he's got Crosby heading in the right direction, and then those freaking assistant coaches.
They're all over you.
They're all over me on Twitter.
They're all over you on Twitter.
Man in a row are just...
It's fantastic.
It's relentless. It is relentless. But Crosby, very dangerous. They've got, I think that for the most part, they'll have they've got New Caney Porter this week. and then they get CE King in the finale. And CE King's a good squad, but they'll almost certainly be favored in that game. But they're dangerous if they can keep things rolling. It's a dangerous New Caney or a dangerous CE King squad.
Yeah,
Travion Williams, but I know that was their one regular season loss last year, and I know that they're sore from it. So I think they're going to.
Well, you look at their 2 losses last year, and you go, well,
yeah, those are pretty good.
You're probably going to get those games again.
I mean, you're probably going to. You've got your chance at redemption against CE King with their beautiful at the beautiful new Cougar Stadium in Crosby, and then if things go right, you're probably careening headlong towards Cedar Park in the semifinal.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Be a great game.
That might be one you hope as we head down to Houston for that finals week. Maybe we leave a day early, just to catch that one wherever it ends up getting played on the way.
Well, and maybe ideally that would be on one day, and then if there's a Katy and Cibolo Steel semifinal, we could stop.
Or like a early afternoon, and then an evening combo. I'd make that work.